Hi friends and fellow bibliophiles, welcome back to Kat's Novel Adventures. In today's video, I am sharing my final vlog for GarbAugust. And this week's theme for week 4 was anything goes, literally anything. So I chose 2 books to close out my final week of GarbAugust. Enjoy! Hey everyone, it is Monday evening. I'm a little late on updating you and wishing you a happy 4th week of GarbAugust because I was rather busy today. I had a lot of things on my to-do list, at least 15 items, plus I did some extra chores today, and I'm still not finished everything I need to do before I climb into bed. But I did want to let you know that I am reading Bridget Jones's Diary by Helen Fielding. This week for GarbAugust, the theme is read anything you want, literally anything. So I have decided I'm going to read this book. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, it's a diary format, and I think it is epistolary is the term for it. But I did not get very far in it. I am only on page 19. The way it works is this diary is going to cover a year of Bridget's life, starting with her New Year's resolutions, and I've only gotten to January 5th. She has her New Year's resolution. She has a I will not list, plus she has an I will list. So like the first thing on her I will not list is drink more than 14 alcoholic units a week. Her second is, I will not smoke. And then her third is, I will not waste money on pasta makers, ice cream machines, or other culinary devices which we'll never use, books by unreadable literary authors to put impressively on shelves, exotic underwear, since pointless as have no boyfriend. Now the first 3 on her I will list is, I will stop smoking, I will drink no more than 14 alcoholic units a week, and I will reduce circumference of thighs by 3 inches, example 1.5 inches each, use an anti-cellulite diet. So she has numerous of what she will not be doing and she will be doing. We start off with January and it says an exceptionally bad start. And of course, she's talking about everything that she consumes for the day. She always starts her diary entries out with how much she weighs and also how much alcoholic units she drinks, as well as how many cigarettes she smokes, and then how many calories she consumes for the day. And then she goes into whatever exciting adventure that she has at the moment. I'm not really much into it, but I do like the tone of it. I do like the humor, and I think it is going to be a good time. Hopefully I'll have some time to read before I go to sleep tonight, and then I can share a little more about what's going on. Our 4th week of GarbAugust is underway. So talk to you soon. Hey friends, it is time for an update. It's Tuesday evening. And I know I'm a little bit late updating, but that is because I worked today. And then I had the unfortunate experience of having my car not start after I stopped to get some gas. Thankfully, as luck would have it, my son Barry Jr. was home and he was able to meet me at the gas station, which was not very far from my house. And he was able to jump my battery and get me going so I could make it home. My husband seems to think it might be the battery, and he is on his way to Walmart to try to get me a new battery. It's very important that my car is working in tip-top shape because I have appointments this week that I have to go to, and I am the designated driver. next week. For myself, Andrew, and my dad, we're all driving to Atlanta, where my sister lives, and that is where we're flying out to go to Sicily. So I need my car to be in tip-top shape. Now, as far as updating what is going on with my book, I'm having a good time with Bridget Jones, although I have to say she's a tad bit insecure. Okay, a lot insecure, but I don't blame her. Poor thing. She thinks she's fat and she teeters between 124 and 130 pounds. I don't think that's fat at all. She's of course in her 30s, early 30s, and she's having boyfriend woes. A lot of her friends have gotten married. Several of them are having children, and she just is not feeling like life is just so spectacular. But she does have some pretty nice friends that she gets to hang around with. She does have a crush on her boss, Daniel, which is not healthy at all, and she makes some very poor decisions. So I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know if there's going to be a happily ever after with Bridget and Daniel. However, I will say that Bridget is just a fun character. She's quirky. I laugh aloud at some of her comments. She is trying to do the best she can. I mean, her whole entire getting ready for her birthday meal is hilarious. I enjoy the fact that it is written in diary form. There's also messages, email messages between she and Daniel at the office. She also has some issues with her parents, I guess we should say. Like, she's having to be the parent because of a crisis that her mom's having, and it really is causing her dad to lean heavily on Bridget. So she's just like, I am not old enough to be having to take care of my parents. But one little part I just wanted to share with y'all that I thought was kind of funny is this was dated on February the 23rd, and she's about to have her date. And she says, wise people will say Daniel should like me just as I am, but I am a child of cosmopolitan culture, have been traumatized by supermodels and too many quizzes, and know that neither my personality nor my body is up to it if left to its own devices. I can't take the pressure. I am going to cancel and spend the evening eating donuts in a cardigan with egg on it. But the weight thing cracks me up about how she just jots it down. And finally she gets to a point where she's like, I'm not writing this down anymore because it doesn't really matter. And then of course she starts up again. But she keeps track of her weight, her drinking, her smoking, and then other little things that crop up, like if she plays the lottery or if she does any kind of spiritual practice. I don't know. She's just cute. She's a cute character. I hate the fact that she's so insecure. But good time. Enjoying it, and hopefully with sprints tomorrow I'll make a big dent in it and can get this finished by the end of the week. Hey everyone, it is Friday and it is the beginning of the weekend. Woot woot! I know that it has been a hot minute since I have updated y'all last on what's going on with GarbAugust. I wish I could say I'm having this exciting week, but I'm not. I've been working this week, and I had a doctor's appointment yesterday and some catching up to do with content. And then I had a doctor's appointment to attend with my mom today, and I just got back because, as you know, she lives on the South Shore, and it was a pretty lengthy appointment. We were there from 8:15 till about 11, and then we had lunch afterwards, and then I took care of a couple of things with her and then drove home. I just made it back probably about 20 minutes ago, but I need to update y'all on what's going on with my reading. That has been probably the most exciting part of this week is my reading. I've been reading for this and Summer Book Bingo, and I finished Bridget Jones's Diary by Helen Fielding. I actually made lots of progress on it during my sprints on Wednesday. I didn't quite finish before sprints was up, but once I got off, I went and took my shower and I read the last 6 pages, and I am done with my first book for this week for GarbAugust. Now, let's talk about it just briefly. I enjoyed it. It is a fun, easy read, doesn't take a lot of brain power, And Bridget Jones is actually a very likable character. While I did find it entertaining, I did start feeling like it was getting a little repetitive, especially with her calorie counting, her cigarette counting, and the amount of alcohol that she has. She obsesses about her weight, which that was one thing that kind of did take away for me. I thought that there were a few people in her life that actually fat shamed her. And I don't know if that was something that was popular back in the 90s when this was written, but I don't know, I just didn't like it. It gave me an icky feeling because, I mean, the most I think she weighed was like 130, 131 pounds, and that is not fat to me. I do think Fielden did a great job of kind of capturing what it was like for women in the 90s, single women in the 90s, and what they experienced in the workplace. I also think that she did a great job with Bridget's friends. They were very supportive. They were a good group for her to hang out. They called themselves the Singletons, but they were there for each other. I mean, I think she only had one friend named Rebecca who wasn't very nice, and she was one of the ones that fat shamed Bridget at one point. She wasn't very, she was like a mean girl. But I did think it was kind of humorous about the mom who's having like this midlife crisis and goes on all these weird escapades and then gets herself in trouble because she dates this younger guy. It is a humorous novel, but I will say at the end of the day, I gave it 3 stars. And I don't say this very often, but I do think I enjoyed the movie more than I did the book. Now, I'm not finished with GarbAugust because I decided to read one of these little books that I picked up at the Friends of the Library, and this is Diminishing Returns by E.L. Withers. This is like a murder mystery. It says, 6 everyday people suddenly confront death with the chilling realization that one of them is a murderer. So it opens up, not very far into it, but it opens up with 6 people who are out together one evening. 2 married couples and one of the married couple's daughter and her fiance. So they discover that the fiance has a key to some people they know, and they convince him to go by the house, check the house, and they're going to have a nightcap there. Well, then they all get deathly ill. All of them get poisoned. And one of the people who was in that group had to be the one that poisoned them, even themselves. But of the 6 people, one of them dies. And so then that's where the mystery is. So I've made it to chapter 3. They've also introduced a retired lawyer named Weatherby who comes into the office so he can meet with a lieutenant on this case so that they can try to figure out what is the motive? Who had motive in this group to want this man to be dead? I personally thought John Byers was a jerk, and I wouldn't shed many tears because when you meet him in chapter 1, you're like, you're a complete asshat. And I think the world's a better place without him. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see where this goes, but this will be my second book that I'm reading for GarbAugust in this last week. I cannot believe it, our last week of GarbAugust. Hey everyone, it is Sunday morning and it is my last day of GarbAugust, and I want to share with you that I have finished Diminishing Returns by E.L. Withers. I love this so much. It was so much fun to read. It was a murder mystery, lots of twists and turns, lots of cat and mouse, lots of surprises. I really loved how it ended. I enjoyed the character of Weatherby, who is the lawyer. He's a retired lawyer of the Byers family, but he comes in and acts as like an amateur sleuth with his observations and his deductive reasoning, and he helps the lieutenant with not only the first murder that takes place, and I explained that in my last update. They all go to have a nightcap at a house that Larry is house sitting for, and they all get deathly ill, and John Byers dies, which was no loss for the entire family. Well, the lieutenant had told them, do not, the 5 of you, get together alone, because Weatherby was under the impression that one of the remaining 5 was the murderer. So what do? They do not heed the advice of the lieutenant, and they end up at the country home of the Byers family. Marie Helene, who is John Byers' second wife, and his daughter, Janet, are at the country home, and Kitty Stewart and her husband, Ed Stewart, decide they're going to go check on them and invite Larry, who is Janet's fiance. So they all are at the country home, and they decide, well, Larry suggests, rather, that they go swimming in the river. So they all decide to do that, and of course there is an accident. So the police are called in. Once the police get there, after questioning, the lieutenant decides, we need to go down to the station. Well, Kitty insists that they take their own car and not go in the police car. And then another accident happens and someone else goes missing. So now we're from 5 people to 3, and there's still a murderer on the loose. So who could it be? It just keeps unfolding, and there were so many unexpected things that developed. So I was very surprised. It kept me reading. I love everything about it. So I think I'm gonna give Diminishing Returns 4 stars. It was fantastic. Now, some of the dialogue was a little awkward here and there, and some of the incidences seemed a little far-fetched that they could pull it off. I mean, I guess it's just the way the characters in the beginning were portrayed so that it could lead you astray as to what happens towards the end. But overall, it was a fun read, and it was a wonderful way to close out my GarbAugust. And I just have to say, thanks, Olly, for putting on this readathon, creating it. It was just so much fun, and I hope that we get to do it again next year, and maybe even the little short one earlier in 2024, because it really does give you a break from reading more serious stuff. And like I said, lots of fun, lots of reading enjoyment. I had so much fun this August, and I owe it to GarbAugust. What a fun reading event. I got to read a lot of trash and really enjoyed it. Thanks again, Olly, for creating such a fantastic reading event. What did you read for the final week of GarbAugust? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching another one of my vlogs celebrating my GarbAugust adventures. I really appreciate you. In the meantime, stay amazing and be adventurous. And try to be a little adventurously trashy from time to time.